Attention, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can hear me okay. It's a pleasure to start another open Q&A session. Hello Beverly. If possible, type here for me on a scale from 0 to 10 how is my audio, mainly my audio. And today it is definitely a very special conversation because we'll be talking about Pareto. Yeah? We'll be talking about Pareto. We can understand Pareto as a tool, we can understand Pareto as a technique, but we can also understand Pareto as a principle. Yes? And what is a principle? A principle is a timeless and universal truth. So it's a truth that is valid here in Brazil, in South Africa, in any country in Europe, in any country in Asia. It's valid now. It was valid last week. It was valid 100 years ago. And very likely it will be valid forever. Pareto, we are talking about prioritization. Pareto, we are talking about ranking and guaranteeing that we are touching the most important things. I can talk about projects, I can talk about potential causes, critical potential causes, I can talk about potential solutions, I can talk about the most important validated causes, true root causes. I can talk about the most important things that you need to buy on a grocery store, on a supermarket. I can talk about the most important things that you need to do in life. I can talk about the most important problems that you need to solve in your family. Prioritization, ranking. And why it is so important to prioritize things in life? Because resources are limited. Resources are limited. Our time is limited. Money is limited. Our energy in general is limited. So when we bring this topic, this conversation to the operational excellence world, to the continuous improvement world, the relevance is brutal. The relevance is brutal. Because you guys tell me, type here in our chat window. Type me if you have more than one problem to solve in your corporate, Type here for me. Let me open up Minitab. So if you have more than one problem to solve, what is the mechanism that you are using to rank them, and then to tackle the most important ones? What is the mechanism that you are using? Yeah, it's a good question, right? It's a yes, brilliant. So see what Nishi said. What is the financial impact? When we talk about Lean Six Sigma projects, by far, the most important driver must be financial impact. Must be. Long term and or short term. Preferably both. Yeah? Long term and short term. And preferably hard savings. Yeah, so try to avoid like what we call soft savings. Yes, like dollars that are not exactly dollars. You know, for example, when you increase productivity, yeah, on a production line, but you don't have demand to absorb, you know, that improvement in terms of productivity. So you don't have clients that will buy more parts or more services, will hire more services. And and or you did not and I'm sorry talking about that, guys. I know this is a sensitive topic to many people, including me. This is not definitely not my favorite topic. It is not among my favorite topics. But every time that you run a productivity project and you don't fire anyone, there is no hard savings. If you have the same staff, the same number of FTEs, then there is no hard savings. And this is a problem when you have like what they call soft dollars. This is a problem for the reputation of your project and your program in general. Yeah, of the Lean Six Sigma strategy. So examples of hard savings: reduction of scrap. So I was producing, you know, 10 parts and scrapping one every 10 parts. Okay, so I can quantify that in dollars. I'm losing the material, the time, the machine time, the operation time, yeah? So I can translate that into dollars, yeah? And then if now I don't have 10% of scrap and I have now 1%, yeah, I have reduced the percentage of scrap. Wow, I can argue, you know, it's a fact that the bottom line was impacted. Yeah, instead of wasting X amount of dollars, you know, now I am spending, yeah, now I am wasting an amount that is way lower, yeah. Way lower. Way lower. Okay, so guys, type here for me on a scale from 0 to 10, how comfortable are you with the concept of Pareto? Type here for me. On a scale from 0 to 10, how comfortable are you with the concept of Pareto? From 0 to 10. Okay, I see a 5, I see 6.5, I see a 4. Okay, so Pareto, Pareto is the last name of Mr. Vilfredo Pareto. He was born in Paris. Yes, he was born in Paris. but he's very known as a Italian economist. Yes, he lived the vast majority of his life in Italy. And then he realized that 80% of, let's say, just to keep it simple, of the money. Yes, some authors say that he was talking about the land in Italy. Some people say that he was talking about capital in general. So just to simplify, let's say the total amount of money in Italy, 80% was concentrated. Because see, tell me here, if you think, if if life, if the world was full of equality, we can argue if the world was really, really, really fair, we could argue that 80% of the money in Italy should be in which percentage of the population? 80% of the money. Yeah, so let's simplify. Let's suppose in Italy there is 100 euros. That's the total money in Italy. 100 euros. If the world is 100% fair, if equality is present in this world, we could argue that 80 euros should be associated, and let's suppose in Italy we have only 100 people. 100 people. We could argue that 100 euros, 100 people, €1 per person. €1 per person. So 80 euros, 80 people. Yeah? Who is following me? Type here for me. We could argue that, right? Yeah? We could argue that. Oh, how is my internet? Yeah, as you guys can see, I am not in my office. Yeah? How is my audio? Mainly my audio. Amazing, Dave. Thank you very much. Yeah, is it good? Is it good? Yeah? But then Pareto realized that 80%, 80%, 80% of the money was concentrated in 20% of the people. So 80% of the money was concentrated in only 20% of the people. So what's the message here? What is the message here? What's the message here? The final effect on any process, the final effect will be associated to vital few factors. Okay, let me use an example that I have never used before. Cheese bread. There are many factors to control. Oven temperature, baking time, experience of the of the chef, raw material, oven brand, kitchen temperature. Are you guys following me? There are many factors. What we are saying is, and Joseph Juran was the person that used this concept from Pareto. The message is, let's suppose to bake cheese bread, I have 10 factors. If I properly, correctly identify the two most important factors out of 10, if I take two most important factors, for example, oven temperature and baking time, only 2 out of 10, these two will be associated to 80% of the final effect. What's the final effect? For example, how tasty my cheese bread is. Guys, this is extremely serious. What I am saying here is extremely serious. This is not a tool. Pareto is not a tool. Pareto is not a technique. Pareto is a principle. Principle is timeless. It works today, it will work next week, it worked 100 years ago. Principle is universal. It works in Brazil, here in Brazil, in South Africa, in Japan, in the United States. Those techniques, concepts, principles, we are here. So we must prioritize. We must prioritize. We must prioritize. I am working with continuous improvement since 2001. But with this digital transformation that started 3 years ago, the demand on my side brutally increased. The number of contracts brutally increased. The number of students exploded, increased a lot. The numbers of hours of Marcelinho working increased as well. Yeah. One of the most important things that I had to learn, and I'm still learning, is to say no. To say no. Because I do have a tendency to say yes to all doors that open up for me. But now, because the demand increased a lot, prioritization, the Pareto principle, became even more critical. Even more critical for me. I would never imagine that someday I would say no for a project in the United States on a pharmaceutical company via Minitab. I don't know if you guys know, but I am a Minitab partner. So I do official trainings, I do consultancy for Minitab. Minitab is the the most, let's say, popular statistical software in the world. I am the Minitab official trainer in Brazil, but I do some work outside Brazil as well. I had to say no. I had to say no. After running a Pareto analysis. After running a Pareto analysis. Because I realized that this project in the United States would not be part of this 20%. We must focus our energy on these 20% of vital things that must be done. And how do you find these 20%? You must list down the things that you need to do and write down how much of these items converge to the final destination that you have defined in a 3-year time frame, or 5 years, or 10 years. In my case, I have a plan, a 5-year plan. I have numbers, I have extremely well specified, what do I want from 5 years from now, 5 years from now. You must start from there. With numbers, smart. If you are my green belt student, you know what is a smart framework to define objectives. Your objectives must be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Specific. I want to have 100,000 white belt certified for free. I will someday I will open up this chat and celebrate this. Right now we are close to 230s, close to 70,000. Yeah, specific. I'm talking about white belts. I'm not talking about green belts. I'm talking about white belts. For free. Measurable. Can I measure that? Yes. I can go to the company that applied the tests for me, class marker, and I can ask for a report. There is a report, and then I can count. I can count if I want. There is a report, so it's absolutely measurable. Is it achievable? I put 100,000 in 5 years. In 2020, June 2020. So 3 years ago. And it was a 5-year plan. So I have 2 more years. To certify 30,000 people. If I project that, yes, it is achievable. It is possible. But let's keep up, with the same energy, the same intensity. Wonderful. Is it relevant? I strongly consider yes. The testimonials from the white belts, sometimes you cry. Yeah, I can show you guys some testimonials from white belts that you guys will cry. Many people get like better jobs simply with white belt. It's not one or two. Hundreds. So I believe it's a legacy. Yeah. And time bound. 5 years. Okay, 100,000 white belts in 5 years. Because then, if I have a list of things that are important for me in this 5 or 10 year plan or 3 year plan or 2 year plan, it's way easier to take the decisions of, okay, I want to do this, I don't want to do this. Does it make sense? Yes or not? Type here for me if you guys are following me. Yes, Hermon. Great example. Great example. Yeah? Hello, Lumozi. Lucombo, thank you very much. Yes? Yes, Jessica. Thank you. Thank you, Beverly. Okay, so what I wanted to explore today is there is a Pareto per demake phase. We can argue that there is a Pareto, we can use Pareto on define phase, on measure phase, another Pareto on analyze phase, another Pareto on improve phase, another Pareto in control phase. But before that, I need to know, in order to understand what I'll be talking about now, you need to be at least a white belt. So type here for me, where are you? If you are a white, a yellow, a GB, a green belt, a black belt, or a master black belt. Thank you very much, Iconic. Thank you. I truly appreciate your words. Busy with GB, okay? So we'll be celebrating your green belt certification soon, Beverly. Amen? Amen? So I see Patty. She's a yellow. He's a yellow belt. Lunga, green belt. Beverly, green belt. Kandasamy, green belt. Luis Felipe, black belt. Nishi, green belt. Wonderful, Nishi. You will make it, okay? We'll be celebrating our certification soon. Amen? Tabo, green belt, green belt. Jessica, finally green belt. Congratulations, Jessica. Congratulations. For all the green belts, there is a good chance that in August we have another black belt wave. Okay, our black belt course is live, yeah, via Zoom. It's online, but it is live sessions. The sessions are live, and I do also record all of them. Yeah, so if you are interested, stay tuned. Very likely in August we'll have another one. Normally, black belts we offer twice a year, sometimes once a year. Okay, and for the black belts, stay tuned because there is a chance that we have a master black belt certification program in August too. Yeah, for the white belts that are here, stay tuned because in June 14th, it's a Wednesday, we will open up the registration for green belt. Our green belt is offered in conjunction with yellow belt. Yeah, so stay tuned. And as we do every time when we open up for green belt, on day one there is always a very good offer, a very special offer with bonus and also with a good discount. Yeah, only on the first day. So stay tuned on June 14th, okay? In our website, social media, emails, and everything, okay? What's the difference between black belt and master black belt? So, Nishi, a black belt, in technical terms, black belt is the most challenging certification. So in black belt we see like different types of DOEs, different types of regression. Yeah. So technically speaking, black belt is, let's say, the last level. Yeah. And normally black belts I do recommend only for people that are already working full time as continuous improvement professionals or plan to be a full time continuous improvement professional. So let's suppose if there is anyone from procurement and this person loves procurement, or HR or any other area, and wants to no, I want to be a procurement person for the rest of my life. I want to be legal. I am right now working in the legal department and I love that. I am an attorney, for example, and I love that, and I just want to become a black belt. Normally I don't recommend. So I have a friend of mine, he's an attorney, he did the green belt. He was in love with green belt. And then he said, Marcelo, I want to go for black belt. And I said, his name is Flavio. I said, Flavio, I don't know, man. I don't know. You are an attorney. You like to be an attorney. I understand that he's a very close friend. I understand that you will not, I don't know if you will become a full-time employee, a full-time continuous improvement professional. And the reason I'm asking this is, if you are not a full-time continuous improvement professional, or if you don't plan to be a full-time continuous improvement professional, you will not be using the tools. Yeah? For green belt, it is okay. It is okay because you can use isolated, tools in your BAU, business as usual, in your day-to-day activities. You can use just a Pareto without a full project. You can run a hypothesis test. So you are a procurement professional. You can run a hypothesis test to check if the difference is statistically significant or not. You can run a control chart and you can run a project. So I can argue that green belt, up to green belt, it's to anyone. Anyone that did the white belt and felt that, wow, I want more, I want to learn more. So yellow belt and green belt, it is to anyone. And it definitely increases employability, improves your curriculum. You go to job interviews, at a different level. Black belt does the same, but specifically for continuous improvement positions. And what does a master black belt do? A master black belt must master the black belt subject matter. A master black belt must master the black belt body of knowledge. So interesting. A master black belt does not know many different topics, much more than a black belt. Many times you will see sharp black belts that know more than master black belts. Yeah? But master black belts are responsible for the connection between business strategy and the projects. So a master black belt must be politically smart. A master black belt must know how to handle politics, corporate politics, how to handle how to handle power games, how to listen the VOB, voice of the business, and translate the VOB into projects. A master black belt must know how to articulate the needs of the program with a CEO, with C-level, CFO, COO. Yeah? So that's why Master Black Belt certification program is the only one that we don't follow the make. White belt we teach following the make. Yellow belt we teach following the make. A green belt we teach following the make. Black belt the same. Master Black Belt no. Master Black Belt the first chapter. And by the way, Master Black Belt is the last level. The first chapter is about, there are 6 chapters, 6 modules. The first one is about business strategy. So we talk about SWOT analysis, we talk about stakeholder analysis on a much deeper level, the different leadership styles, how to handle with each of them, how to listen to the voice of the business, how to translate the business strategy into projects, using Pareto, for example. Then there is another module about training, how to design training, because it is another important responsibility from master black belts to design and to deliver trainings. There is a module about mentoring techniques, how to coach, how to mentor. Yeah. There is one module about advanced Lean Six Sigma topics. So there is, a little bit of more advanced tools like more advanced regression tools, measurement system analysis. Yeah. There is a module about project management. You will not become a PMP, PMP, a project management professional, but there are a few elements, notions of, no, it's more than notions. It's more than notions about project management, So, yes, we have just finished. There was a celebration, a certification event in São Paulo, with a master black belt wave in Portuguese in Brazil. So, because all the students were in Brazil, I was able to meet them in person. The sessions are virtual, but the certification ceremony was in person in São Paulo. It was super special. Then I was able to handle hand the certificate over to my master black. If you guys, anyone here took the Power BI training with Tarcísio? Anyone here? Yes, Kandasamy, you need to do black belt before master black belt. So my black belt program, it is mandatory to be a green belt. Yeah, otherwise you cannot join my black belt program. And the master black belt program, it is mandatory to be a certified black belt. Yeah. Interesting. Green belt, there is no prerequisite. Green belt, you can come straight. But I do recommend taking my free white belt first, because then you can know my learning techniques. You can see if you like it or not. And you can also check if you like Lean Six Sigma or not, because maybe you don't like, and it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Yeah. And just to reinforce, if there is anyone here that is new to this channel, white belt is free. We don't offer yellow belt anymore. Now yellow belt is offered only as part of the green belt program. So green belt comes with yellow belt. So yellow belt is in quotes. It is free. It's a bonus of green belt. But a green belt is paid. Yeah, black belt is paid and master black belt is paid. So right now we have basically three programs. Yeah, three programs. Green belt that comes with yellow, black belt, and master black belt. Yeah. All of them, we have weekly mentoring sessions every Monday. Optional, they are optional. Green belt and yellow are fully recorded, so you can take from anywhere at any time. Black belt and master black belt, they are live and recorded. They are live, so I can interact with my students. I can address specific questions. And I do also record the sessions, and then I upload later on. So you can review, and you can watch again as many times as you want. Yeah. Lumose, looking forward to the GB. You will be very much welcomed. Just keep in mind that, again, on June 14th, there will be a special offer, okay? Nishi, did I answer properly to you? Did you understand the difference between BB and MBB? Yeah. Continuous improvement is key in business. I fully agree, Isabella. It's key, absolutely important. Absolutely important. Is the master black belt similar to a project manager? MBB, normally BBs are already at the executive level, Nishi. So, and MBBs for sure. An MBB sometimes MBB is at the C level. Ideally, an MBB should be reporting to the CEO. Yeah, and it's more than a project manager. It's at a higher level. I would say at a much higher level. We can argue that project manager is at the level of a black belt. Yeah. So Vindra did the Power BI. So I see many people here that did the Power BI. The Power BI course was delivered by one of my master black belts. Tarcisio did his green belt, I think, in 2017 or 2019. 2017, I think. And then 2019, he did his black belt. And then he shifted to Power BI. He became famous, He has like super important clients like Porsche, like Iveco from Italy, He works with big players. And then he decided to become a certified master black belt, And then he came last year, and he just graduated from as a master black belt. And then I requested him to deliver a free introduction to Power BI, and he also has his complete course that is paid, yes, on Power BI. Can you make a WhatsApp group for the new GBs? What's the problem, Catherine? WhatsApp right now, we have a limit of 1,000 people, and we have almost 5,000 green belts. Believe it or not, we have almost 5,000 green belts all over the globe. So that's why we are using LinkedIn. Yes, Um, yeah, that's why. But for black belts, we do have black belts. We do have a green belt WhatsApp group for master black belts too. But for green belts, the yeah, the number of students is too high. And for the white belts, the WhatsApp groups are temporary. Are temporary. They are not. They cannot type anything there. It's just we have WhatsApp groups for white belts just because the deliverability of emails, the deliverability is too poor. I don't know if you guys know that. When you send an email to one person, the chances that this email gets there is the chances are very high. When you send to 100 people, it goes down. When you send to 10,000 people, to 100,000 people, you get like sometimes 15%. When you get like right now, uh, because of a lot of improvements that we had, we are close to 50%. Yeah, but it's still low if you compare with WhatsApp. WhatsApp, you send a message, it is there. It is there. Yeah. Business analyst jobs requires Lean Six Sigma. Yeah, Lean Six Sigma is definitely connected to employability, guys. There are many. You guys can go to Glassdoor, to LinkedIn, many positions. Uh, they have like as desirable capabilities Lean Six Sigma, and sometimes mandatory. There are some positions that if you are not at least a green belt, you are out. Yeah. Nishi, I always say that there are 5 things. I say this in Brazil. There are 5 areas that continuous improvement professionals should navigate. Yeah, Lean Six Sigma is one. Another one is project management. We must have at least some notions of how to manage a project. Another one is agility. We need to be aware of at least a general idea of Scrum. Another one is Power BI. Power BI. Business BI stands for business intelligence. So imagine that you have like a huge database, and you will not run necessarily hypothesis tests or control charts or these more advanced uh, statistical analysis, but you can plot some simple but powerful bar graphs, just bar graphs or Paretos, simply Paretos. You know, you can do that. You can do that. So with very insightful dashboards. So you have like a panel, like a dashboard. And many times you will find beautiful dashboards with Power BI. So at least notions of Power BI, any continuous improvement professional nowadays, they must have, in my humble opinion. And the last one, I think it is not applicable for you guys, but this is something that I reinforce in Brazil. That is language. Language. Because in Brazil, very few people speak Spanish and English. Like the vast majority of the population, they speak zero English. Yeah. So what I tell to my students in Brazil is, please, you must speak at least a little bit of English, like me. Like even full of mistakes and grammar mistakes and pronunciation mistakes. I mean, You must speak and read and understand at least a little bit of English. And and I do recommend for my students Spanish as well, because in Brazil we are surrounded by countries that speak Spanish. Yeah, Brazil is the only country in Latin America that that speaks Portuguese. The only one, the only one. Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Colombia, Spanish. Yeah. Professor, we learned many tools and techniques in GB, and yet there are so many more that might be necessary, non-parametric. As belts, how can we keep all in our head yet know when to use the appropriate tools and techniques? Thank you so much, Vindra. So see, it's a journey, not a destination. Remember that. It's a journey, not a destination. So we need to keep in our hearts that we will never know 100%. Who understood that? Type me if you understand that. We will never know 100%. So what's the message? We will need to study until our last day in this world. We need to keep studying forever. I don't know if I should say that, Vindra, but let me see here. What do you guys think of this idea? I have something that there is a good chance that will be launched soon. I still don't know the name, but the idea is belt in good shape. So what's the idea? Is to have a group of students, at least GB. The entry level is GB. You must be at least a certified green belt. We'll have black belts and we'll have master black belts. And we will meet once a week or every other week to discuss real applications. It's only real applications. Why? To guarantee that the belts are in good shape. Because I know that depending on where you guys are working now, it's an amazing place to apply all these tools. But many people are working on companies that culturally it is terrible. It is terrible. It's guessing, it's politics, many people I know. I do have students that like apply all these tools every day, and their leaders want more, because culturally it's very much matured, but I have students that are frustrated because now they know the tools, they know the techniques, but right now on their current job, there is no opportunity. And for black belts, what I tell them is find another place, because there are companies that want operational excellence. There are companies. Yeah, do you guys think it's a good idea? From 0 to 10, type here for me. Do you think it's a good idea? Imagine, but again, you need to be at least a green belt. You'll be invited for once a week conversation, maybe 1 hour, where we will be talking about real applications. Real applications. Yeah. It will help a lot of mentoring us to negotiate challenges in the industry and be able to apply our learnings. Yeah, it's a journey, guys, and depending on the country where you are. So, for example, you take United States, they are doing this for decades. So they naturally work, applying the make. They apply the make so naturally. But you take countries like Brazil, for example, it is much better. But you still see a lot of guessings, a lot of guessing, a lot of guessing. You know, right now I have many students from Philippines, many students from Philippines, many students from Malaysia. I know that they struggle with guessing as well because the level of the maturity is very low. It's still very low. I have many students right now in Africa, Africa continent. Same thing, same thing. You know, this is, at the same time, this is a problem, this is a huge opportunity. At the same time, this is a problem, this is a huge opportunity. Because if you don't have many people, where do you think, where do you think I had more success running Lean Six Sigma projects in the United States, and I ran there, or in Brazil? What do you guys think? In Brazil or in the United States? In Brazil or in Czech Republic? In the United States or in Czech Republic? In Germany, I had a chance to run projects in Germany or in Czech Republic. I ran projects in the United States. We got awards. I ran good projects in Germany, but like the amount of opportunities in countries like Brazil, Czech Republic, in South Africa, Botswana, Ghana, Philippines, Malaysia, the volume is immense. Middle East, I have many students from Saudi Arabia, from UAE. Yeah. In life, we have to keep studying, continuously improve, as long as one is healthy till death. Yes, it's a journey, not a destination. Yeah, and so it's a journey, not a destination. So we need to be humble, humble, to know that at any point, a person can come to you and show something that you don't know in your area, even if you are a master black belt. It is possible that someone comes and, oh, take a look. There is some that you had no clue. And at this point, fight ego, because ego will come. Ego is inside all of us, unfortunately. At different levels. But ego is inside all of us. And we must fight ego. When ego comes, you need to realize that ego is there, and you need to exercise humility. Exercise humility. And it's okay. It's okay. Marcelo, but you are the Master Black Belt certified by the American Society for Quality. And there was a green belt, a white belt student that showed something in Minitab that you didn't know. Yes, it is possible. It is possible. It is possible. And I'll keep studying. I'll keep studying. There is a very important event in São Paulo. That's why I am not in my office. In 2 days from now, I'll be talking about CART, classification and regression trees. It's an in-person session, one during the morning and another one during the afternoon. Even knowing that I am running regression since I was 20 years old, so there are 23 years that I run regressions. I studied yesterday, I will study today, I will study tomorrow for my presentation on Thursday. And it must be full of pleasure. We must enjoy. We must have fun. Have fun. Let's have fun. Let's have fun. Let's have fun. Oh, if you click here in options, you can add, an individual plot graph for true sample T. Yeah, come here. It's a lot of fun. Take a look here. Graph, true sample T, stat basic statistics, true sample T, graph. And let's add a box plot. Wow, so now there is a box plot with the results of my true sample T. That's amazing. We must enjoy that. Enjoy that. Wow, I've just learned something new. Yeah, because if we do not enjoy the journey, we increase the chances of simply stopping. If we want to find the ending point, okay, so right now there is nothing more to learn. Unconsciously, we are wanting to stop. Are you guys following me? This is serious. This is serious. Every time that we try to find something that is collectively exhaustive, every time that we want to cross the ending line, we are unconsciously desiring that process to come to an end. And you don't want that. Again, we must progress. If I compare John today against John last week, was there a progress? Even if it is 0.1%, okay, we must progress. We must progress. We must be addicted to progress. But at the same time, we must have in mind and in our heart that there is no destination. There is no final destination. There is no final destination. Too philosophical? Too philosophical. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. I appreciate your words. Thank you so much. Taking advantage of the opportunities in the heart is the hard part. Sometimes it is difficult to convince the business owners and leaders. Yes, Lunga, I agree with you. And if the environment is completely against continuous improvement, you should find another department, sometimes another company. But before that, you need to try to run at least one project. And for that, you just need the support from one leader. I'm talking about one project, one CTQ, one Y, one leader. Just one. Because sometimes leaders are not supporting your project because the project is poor. sometimes leaders are not supporting your project because the project is not good. Because remember, from white belt, we need to translate the size of the problem into dollars. We don't approach a leader saying, we need to run a project. Why? Oh, because Minitab is so cool. No, let's run a Lean Six Sigma project. Why? Oh, because the make is so cool. And I have this teacher that he's so cool. And no. I mean, who cares? Who cares? We love to run hypothesis tests. We run to love control charts. We run to calculate sigma level. But this is vehicle. This is vehicle. This is vehicle. Bottom line, we must talk about impact to the business. And capitalism. Impact to the business, we are talking about dollars. Dollars. So the way to approach leaders is, I have an opportunity. So then you go, you do your homework to quantify in the past 12 months how much money we wasted with this kind of scrap. Then you have a number, $100,000. And then you can argue that this $100,000 can be reduced. A good initial estimation is 50%. So you can argue that there is an opportunity to save $50,000 per year, reducing scrap X. Can I run a project? Can I run a project to reduce scrap type X? Because there is a potential hard savings of $50,000. You don't talk about pyramid structure, measurement system analysis, gauge and attribute agreement analysis. Please don't talk about Ishikawa unless the leader is technical, is a belt. You need the driver. Yeah. The journey is our destination. Yeah, Vindra. Yeah, management will always look for the bottom line impact. Exactly. Guys, normally I keep this conversation up to 1 hour, but as I always say, it's an amazing pleasure to be here with you all. Thank you so much for your engagement. Just a quick recap on the core topic of today's session, that was Pareto. Type here for me if it is clear that Pareto is a principle and that Pareto can be applied in all the make phases. Yeah, so let me just quickly tell you guys why. Because on define phase, you can apply Pareto to select your project. So you have many different problems to solve. You can apply Pareto to select the best problem to be solved. Yeah? On measure phase, you also have an opportunity to apply Pareto to optimize the scope of your project. For example, let's reduce scrap cheese on the cheese bread production line. Let's reduce scrap. On measure phase, you will see what kind of scrap. Or let's focus only on burnt cheese bread. On analyze phase, it's the Pareto that you guys know on potential causes. Yeah? On improve phase, a Pareto for solutions. And in control phase, a Pareto for the inputs that must be controlled to maintain your positive results. Yeah? So let me see if I can type here. Let me try something different. 1 second. So we can use Pareto in all the make phases. Define for problem selection, measure for scope, define. Yeah? Are you guys there? For improve potential solutions and for control to be controlled. Yeah? Guys, once again, thank you very much for joining this session. It's always a pleasure. Yeah? And I am looking forward to seeing you all next week. Okay? Thank you very much. Stay blessed. Have an amazing rest of week. I'll talk to you guys. Bye bye. Bye bye, Jessica. Bye bye, Nishi. Bye bye, Vindra. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kandasamy.